Okay, everybody, I've been stressing over this long enough, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I've done these Christmas cards. I did several in my sketchbook to practice, so the ones I like best are the ones that I really don't plan out. So I loosely drew this snowman. And I just went on Pinterest and I found a snowman that I liked, and I kind of just drew it and I put a little present in front of him. And, you know, I didn't draw it exactly. I kind of put my own flair on it. But I'm going to paint this Christmas card, and I think I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint it pretty quickly and very loosely. I will have to dry in between. But I'm going to start with the background. I'll put this sketch up on my website if you want to go get it. I'll try to do that sometime this weekend and get my website all caught up. I've been kind of behind on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the background with clean water. Don't forget the clean water. And we're just going to put this background in because I'm going to put this snowman kind of at night. This is 100% cotton ARTEZA watercolor cards. I really like them better than the Strathmore. You can use Strathmore, or you can just cut up some of your paper into card size, or you can paint this big if you'd like. You can blow up the photograph or the sketch from my website and trace it for free. My heater came on, so that is the noise in the background. I'm going to try to go around all my parts here. And I'm going to just kind of look at my picture from the side to make sure I have all the background wet. Being that the heat's on all the time, the papers just dry really quickly. I thought about getting a humidifier and putting out here. Okay, so now while that soaks in, I'm going to get my palette's dirty, so I'm going to use this palette. This is just, I got these Fine Tech metallics here, but I'm just going to use the lid here to mix up some ultramarine blue. And some indigo. So that's going to kind of make it dark. Let me put a little bit more ultramarine in there. A little bit more indigo. Okay. So that ought to be plenty for my sky. So I'm just mainly going to go around here, let my color bleed. And do its thing. See, it's already starting to dry out down here. And I'm not going to worry about if every part's covered. I'm just going to keep it loose. And let it diffuse a little bit. Okay, so we'll dry that and come back and we'll work on the snowman. Alright, so for the snowman, I'm going to start making the outer edges of the snowman. And I've got some mix over here. It's a mix of ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Alright. So it's real light. Let's just see. Yes. So I'm going to go around. I'm going to make sure that I don't have any water on my brush here. And make sure I don't have too much. And I'm going to go around here and I'm going to draw this snowman. And it's got too much on there. And as I do that, I'm going to bring that gray, it's a light wash of gray, and I'm just going to bring that over. I think I'm going to get a different brush. This one doesn't have enough snap to it. You can see that it's just kind of not wanting, I'm wanting that snap. Okay, I think this one does. This will let me draw just a little bit better. Alright, so let's draw this around there. And around there. Just taking that, well, I just put some water on my brush, and I'm just taking that wash kind of halfway across with a fairly dry brush. Okay, now I'm going to take some more of that gray and I'm going to put it right where it might have a shadow. Okay, so alright, let's see, that's dry. So let's go ahead and put on for his hat. Let's paint his hat a brown color with some raw umber and burnt sienna mixed. Oh, put my hand right in it. So I'm going to turn my paper here so I can paint this hat. I might just go ahead around the, cover up some of that white space, which it doesn't make any difference. This is just a loose watercolor painting. Okay, let's get some more of that paint. Let's paint up here, paint his hat, and I'm going to paint around these leaves and this patch. Leave that white. Paint around these berries. Although I think we could paint over. But they'll be brighter if we leave white space. Okay. Now I'm just going to take what I have left on my brush and I'm just going to give that another streaky layer. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Okay. Now let's do his eyes. Let's do his eyes of black, and to get a black, I'm going to take this mixture of French ultramarine and indigo, and I'm going to add some raw umber. And that should give me a really nice dark. So you mix brown and blue and you get a really nice black. And if it goes green on you, which that's a little green tone, but I don't think it's going to matter. Okay, so I'm going to make his eyes. I'm going to make one here. And one over here. And then I'm going to do his mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a couple of buttons. Okay, so let's do the present down here. I'm going to, what can I make it? Maybe a green present with a red ribbon. Alright, we'll paint around that ribbon too. This is by no means perfect. That is okay with me. Alright, so we'll wait for that green to dry before we paint the ribbon, but we can go up here, and this is dry around here, so I think I will cut in and re-wet this area up here and drop in a little indigo. Maybe right there too. Maybe just drop in just a little bit. Just to get around him, because there was just a little bit too much. Now I'm going to rinse my brush and just dry it off and then drag that out. And maybe go around here some more. dry my brush and drag it out. Now I don't mind this down here. This is, it's got just some natural, the way the water and pigment bled out. But this right here that's in this hat, it just looks a little unfinished to me. So that's why I'm refining it. And I'm going to thin this out so it's not so harsh. And I might do it down here too. And you know, one thing that we can do afterward is spatter some white on it. Might just paint that for snow, and it'll camouflage some of that. So I think I'll camouflage that too. So let's paint these little holly leaves up here. I think I'll go straight into my pan and get stronger pigment. Sap green. And we'll do something here in a little bit that'll pull everything together. Alright, so now I'm gonna go get some red, and I'm gonna get this Pyro Red. And it leans more towards orange, so I'm going to get a little bit of permanent alizarin crimson and mix that in with it and just make it more of a true red. Alright, so here we go. My head in the way. So I've first time I drew this, I just looked at the picture and kind of then went back and drew the bow, just, you know, a teardrop here and a teardrop here, and then I looked at the bow more and seen the different shapes and where how the bow actually looked. I had it totally wrong. So if you can learn to draw a little bit and really learn your shapes and draw what you see, it'll make your paintings much better. Alright, now I'm going to leave that little white space in there. I'm going to go up here and put this band on his hat. And I'm going to fill in these berries. Alright, now I'm going to go get some orange for his nose. Pyro orange. I'm using my core palette and I'm kind of liking it. Okay, let me get a good tip on that brush so I can draw with it. Make him a little carrot nose. All right. All right, and I think I'm just going to drop in a little bit of that red just to darken it up a little bit as a shadow. All right, so what's next? His arms. So I'm going to get some raw umber and I am going to use it straight out of the tube, because I do believe that raw umber is a cool brown, and I do want the arms to be brown. So we're going to make him an arm that goes up. Little sticky fingers. Bring this down and set that in. Okay, I'm going to set this one in. And we'll bring this one up too. And I'm just moving my brush a little jaggedly. Okay, that feels like it needs to go in just a little bit more. Alright, so we're just about done. I'm going to make some evergreen, like pine. So we're going to okay, yeah. All right. Okay, let's see. Do I need more than that? Maybe a couple. All right. Okay, let that dry a minute. I'm going to do a couple of the little things. I'm going to go back over this with some darker, and I'm going to give this little present a couple little things. I'm going to, after the eyes dry, I'm going to put a little white dot in there. In the meantime, I'm going to turn this guy around. And I'm going to go over this with a Sharpie. Just define the edges. And I just think that does so much. To a piece, makes it so cute, stands out. Hides mistakes. I don't want to put my hand in those eyes or on that nose because it's still a little bit wet. So now I'm going to turn them back around. Some people don't like this. That's okay. I do. You know, you do that and you can kind of see the grays, and now I kind of like it. I mean, it just looks natural. So that's just me. Give a little flair to these bows. Might come back and put some, I think I will. I think I'll just get a little bit more of this sap green that I've got mixed up here and just give it a little, another little watercolor goodness. And then I'm going to take some of this dark that I've mixed up and I'm going to add it to that sap green. Make it darker. Remember, that's got colors in it that we've already used in the painting. So I'm going to put some darker branches here. Gives it a little bit of dimension. More of an evergreen color. Get back in there and get more of that. All right.